What's the latest? Who's going to start this Saturday? Is it Keaton Slovis?
Not sure yet. Keaton is not 100%. He's practiced more this week than he did last week, but he's not 100% yet. So we're still working through that.
Are you willing to start him if he's not 100%?
No, he won't. He won't play unless we feel like he's 100%. We're not going to play him. We gotta have him. It's not for his sake. Like not going to put him out there unless he can fully do the job.
How much is that kind of entering the conversation with Keaton about factoring in his future post BYU?
Well, yeah, we have an obligation to think about that for him as well. I mean, my first job is to win here, but we have an obligation to him to not put him at risk unless he's able to play the position the way he's capable of playing. And so we're getting close, though. He's doing a lot more than he has for several weeks. So.
Now, in terms of how when's the drop dead date on when you would determine if he's capable of going?
I don't know. We haven't set a drop dead date yet. We've just been kind of looking at it day by day. Yeah, so there's not a drop dead date. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about Jake, just in terms of he had a decent performance against West Virginia, and
yeah,
obviously not so good in this last game. What do you make of him so far through two starts?
Well, first of all, you're right. He played pretty well against West Virginia. Not so great last week. It was not his best. But I would also say that I don't think any quarterback at this school has ever played against two defenses that good in their first two starts. That was a pretty tall task. So we're definitely not, going to judge too much yet. We want to get a larger body of work before we, make any conclusions about him. I think we got to let him play more.
Looking at the list of seniors on the offensive side that's going to be honored on Saturday, one name I didn't notice was Keanu Hill. Has he already told you that he's coming back for next season? Because he's already his fifth year in the program. That's why I asked on him.
I'm expecting him back. I haven't had that conversation with him, but I fully expect him to be back next year.
How much conversation have you had with players, kind of to get a sense, knowing where they stand for next year? Because the portal's going to open up here in a few weeks.
Yeah, no, not like formal conversations yet, but here and there on the side, position coaches are talking to their guys. I've talked to a few guys, and obviously we'll talk to everyone right after our last game, immediately. Yeah, that's how it works.
It may be difficult to calculate, but Kalani said this is the most difficult schedule, arguably, in BYU football history. I mean, give me your perspective. You played here.
There's no argument. It's not even close. And the only ones that were even close to it were the last 2 years before this. So no one's ducking that. This is what we signed up for, man. And we've all been through this before. And you got to go through the fire to learn how to, stand on your feet in this league. And it's tough. We're going through a tough time right now, but we embrace the challenge, and you got to go through it to grow and get better.
Speaking of growing, getting better, what can you build off of? There's a lot of adversity, obviously, especially the last 3 games. What is it that you guys have done well enough to maybe build off of offensively? I know you've been hypercritical of your own offense, but what can you build off of that you guys have actually done well?
Well, we've made some progress in our run game the last 2 weeks. I know it doesn't show in the point totals, but we've made some progress. We've blocked a little better in the run game. Guys are running hard, and the other positive is just I think our guys are still playing hard. They've never, they're playing till the final whistle. And if you keep doing that and you keep working, you always got a chance.
Going through the fires that you noted, is there a feeling though that no matter what happens the rest of the way, this whole group's going to come back, you guys are going to still see this thing out for next year and beyond?
I expect our, every team has some turnover every year, but I don't expect, I expect our players. We got a lot of good young players that I think are going to be really good next year. Yeah.
Well, is Kalani given those assurances for you and the offensive staff, because you guys have navigated some difficulties this year?
We're going through the season right now. I'm not even talking about that.
Venables is a pretty well-known defensive mind. What do you see from Oklahoma on defense?
Really good defense, really good scheme. Just like a lot of the teams we played this year, they're loaded with good players and very difficult scheme. I mean, Coach Venables is one of the best in the game.
Could you delve into some of the dynamics of system versus personnel fitting into systems? Over the last 3.5 years, the system is top 30 metrically in the country. This year, there's a drop-off, right? Strength of schedule, but also, 40 new personnel on the offense. I mean, there's a lot of new personnel on the offense.
Yeah.
So, how do you balance personnel fitting into system fitting into personnel, and how do you adapt as a coach?
Yeah, that's important. You have to always adapt your scheme to who your best players are, and I think we've done a good job of that in the past. This year we have not done as well at that. Obviously, I mean the results are not as good as what we would like, but we still have 2 more games to get better. And I also think that a lot of the guys that are playing a lot for us are going to be a lot better next year because that cohesiveness of playing together, comes with time. And we've experienced that in the past where, went through a couple of years where we took a few lumps and had a lot of young players, then all of a sudden those guys were veterans and we were pretty good. So it's just how it works.
How excited are you to have a healthy Aiden Robbins and LJ Martin, both guys healthy for really the first time this year?
Yeah, they've both been healthy and played well the last couple games, and that last game both of them showed up and did some good things. And it's huge. I mean, having a run game is huge. Our whole offense starts with that.
How much does Jake's ability to run change things for you guys?
I mean, it definitely opens up the game a little bit. His mobility can open up the game. If we can be a lot more efficient passing, then that's when you can really start to click. But he thought he provides us with some mobility, some scrambling, some run game. But we got to be able to throw it better, to make that worth it.
All right. Yep.